All right, so this was actually brought up by a subscriber of mine, and I apologize I didn't go back and look at the comments to see who it was, but you know who you are. And they brought this up, and it was just such a nice little way to look at things, and it was kind of an epiphany for me. And I'm sure there is a lot of legalese that you have to really kind of dig into to see if these two things are on equal footing and if they really do apply to each other. But the idea is pretty simple. The Supreme Court, the judicial system in our country, upheld that a person that owns a business has to offer equal service to everyone, right? They have to give everyone the same amount of social respect, give or take. There's obviously a lot to that, and we saw this with people wanting to get cakes baked by bakers who didn't want to take part in a wedding. Same thing with florists and stuff like that. And the courts have upheld that if you are out there and you are doing business and you are offering something to one person, you have to offer it to everybody else. And that's just how it is. How does YouTube apply into this little scenario? I mean, YouTube just randomly will kick you off, give you a strike, shut down your videos. They'll, throw you off of their platform if they don't like what you're doing. They will give that freedom of speech, that freedom of opinion to express how you feel about everything, about racism, about Islam, about politics, about guns, whatever it may be. They will give other people the right to espouse their opinions on those things. But if your opinion is something they disagree with, they boot you off of their public platform. They're out there in the public as a business. Now they say it's because of terms of service. So one of two things has to apply here. Either we, as individuals who feel wronged by YouTube, who feel we're having our content restricted, need to sue the shit out of YouTube to the point to where it has to go to the very same court systems that upheld already that, hey, you're in the business of offering a service to people. In this case, the service of allowing them to put their opinions out there online. And you offer it to some people, you can't take that away from others. Or maybe bakers and florists just need to have a little terms of service on their door every time somebody walks in. I mean, that's what YouTube blames for everything. Oh, terms of service. Oh, terms of service. They'll never explain it. They'll never explain where in the millions of words of terms of service you violated something, but they leave it open and just very up to interpretation. Is that what businesses need to do now? They need to have a terms of service, a very open-ended, up to your own interpretation terms of service on their windows everywhere. As soon as you walk in the door, you're forced to look at this big thing that you've agreed to simply by walking through the door, and therefore you can't get sued. You can do anything you want to anybody, right? Because it works for YouTube, it should work for everybody else as well. So that's what I think we need to really start to focus on. Do we need to take YouTube to the court system? Do we need to sue them under the very same ideology that these people were allowed to go and sue bakers and force YouTube to allow us to put our opinions online on their public platform where they are doing business as a corporation? Should we force that? I think it's worth a shot, and I don't know how you go about doing that. Have no knowledge of how to take care of things like that, but I think it's definitely something we should be looking into. If it's going to be upheld on one side of the political spectrum, it should be upheld on the other side as well. YouTube is a public business doing business as a corporation to the masses, to the people, to the public. They should offer the same access and service to everyone across the board. The Supreme Court has spoken on this, and it's time to force YouTube to fall in line.